Hello and welcome back to chapter 5, lecture number 9. So in the previous video we created these wooden bars and we applied a material, the rough wood. I'll show you how that looks. And in this lecture I'd like to append these on the building. So we have to small them a little bit or size them to put them in the right position. So that's the lecture for now. So let's go to the solid view and go to the layout. So the viewport is a bit bigger, and I like to make separated wooden bars because it's now one object. So left click on the right one, P selection, and you have to put origin on the bar, origin, or there you go. Set origin to geometry, and we have to do that for this one. P selection and to geometry, and for the big one it's already one single mesh, so set origin to geometry. All right, so let's go to the solid view, and I like to start with this bar and drag this. Let's start with the duplication and drag this to the building. So G, Y, and now it's sort of useful to have these arrows. So you open this menu, press T, and you click on these arrows, and you just put this inside of the building. And we have some space on the top, so go to the edit mode and you can scale it. As long it is just small scaling, it doesn't really matter. But if you do it like this, you really have stretched UVs, and that looks a little bit ugly. So you go for a duplication, Shift D, G, Y. And what I like to do if I duplicate it, first we put this in position. I like to go to the UV editor, and we just move them so it looks different. So I like to add these bars on each corner, Shift D, GX, GX, and do this with care. So you want to blend it in the building, so you won't see the corner, but it's not like this. So you have this bar just popped out. So try to find the right balance between blending it. So what is happening? Yes, so you don't want this, just slightly there. Good. And go to edit mode and just move them a little bit so you will have a complete different view. Shift D, G, Y. And when you finish this, you can join all these objects together. But if I do this in edit mode and I want to change it, you sometimes change the other bars, and that looks a little bit distracting. You have to put them back. This one can be blend better. Good, 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 good. So on each corner there's a bar. So now I like to select the big one and make a duplication, and we go to the magnet tool. We have it and rotate this 90 degrees and drag this to the front. Just disable it so we can have more freedom in scaling. And I think I switched to the workbench because it's hard to see the depth in the building. Like, that's much better. So I want to have one over there. Control L, and we scale this. Or we can just drag this to the left, because it's inside of the shed and it won't really matter. GX. So during the process you can switch between render engines if you think it makes sense. So here is the preview image, and you can see there's this wooden bar right there and one on the left. You also have these vertical bars, so we have to add these as well. So we copy these, Shift D, and we have to drag this to the front. Oh, GY. So we'll do some more together, and then it's up to you to continue this process as Z. All right, and make a duplication and drag this to the right and change the UVs slightly. And for this is just a very small piece. So what we can do is we use one of these, rotate it 90 degrees, turn it off, put them in the right position, drag this to the left. You want to blend it, maybe just a bit more, and we have to make it smaller as X, but this is way too much, so let's scale this a bit more. We have to change the UVs now, so as Y, and that will fix it. All right, so let's do one more together, and then I will pause the video and use the reference image to continue this. And you can also enable the background images to see where all the bars are placed. You can also see one on the top and on the roofs. Ignore these for now. We fully focus on the front and the sides of the building. All right, so I like to disable these because it's also a bit distracting. So let's copy this small bar and GY and select it as Z and blend it with the building GX and change the UVs and Shift D. You can now, you see it's just too much inside of the building, so you probably need to fix this. Improve the speed a little bit, and that should work. Look at that. So you can preview the building, but you have to go back to the Eevee render engine. So I think you can continue this work. So put all the bars on the right place, so on the wooden door frame or on the left and the right side. Just try to put them everywhere you can. So except the roof ones, because that will be a different part. All right, so we'll pause the video, and good luck with the bars. All right, so I have finished the wooden bars on the building, and as you can see, I added these everywhere, on top and on the left side, the rear side. I can see I forgot one on these sides, so yeah, let's fix this. But overall, it looks good to me. Shift D, GY, and GX, and we have to blend this with the corner, and there we go. There's always some parts that needs to be done. Shift D, GX. All right, great. There is one thing I like to do before ending this lecture, and that's the bottom part. I like to add an edge line where the bar is, so we can add a different texture, because if we look at the reference, there is a different texture or material on the bottom part. The problem is we do not have an edge line, and we cannot simply add an edge line because the geometry is a bit broken. What you can do is go to the wireframe and select the, be aware you've not selected another part. You select the bottom part, G, Z, you scale this upwards and press E and extrude it. And because we haven't added a material or a UV map on the building, you are free to do this. Otherwise, you will break the texture, and that's problematic. All right, so we have wooden bars on the building, and let's go to this Eevee render engine, and that looks really nice. So you can see some lighting glitches. I'm not sure why that is. Let's rotate the lamp. Well, find out what it is. Maybe it's swipe UVs or swiped normals. I'm not quite sure, but we will fix that in the next lecture. All right, bye-bye.